Good morning to everyone. Here I am Akshya Kumar, assistant teacher of Purkapali Panchayat High School, Birtola. Once again welcome you back to this virtual studio Sundargarh. So students, I hope you will be very fine. So as far as board exam is concerned, you would have been practicing more and more at home and doing hard work at home. So anyway, dear students, we are discussing a tiger in the house, which is the first chapter of your non-detailed text of skill of communicative English. And a tiger in the house is written by Ruskin Bond and is divided into three parts into three scenes respectively. So in the last class we have already discussed its parts or scene number 1. So today's lesson is only meant for part 2. So before going to start the today's lesson, first I would like to say something which may be one or more question for you. So students, if you will be given a small dog, can you pet it? So students who knows the answer, please raise your hand and tell. पिलामना तुमको जदि गोटे कुकुर छुआ दिया जाए ताहले तुमे ताकू पोसी पारिबो कि? Who can say? Raise your hand. Ujalpur High School. Yes or no? Virmitrapur High School. Yes or no? तुमको जदि गोटे कुकुर छुआ दिया जाए ताहले तुमे ताकू पोसी पारिबो कि घरे? Yes, yes, tell me. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So what makes you you are telling yes? काहे कि तुमे हाँ कहूचो? What is the reason? Yes, tell me. What is the reason?
I like pets.
So yes, you like pet dog. Okay. So anyway, so now another question for you. If you will be given a tiger cub and tell to pet at home, can you pet it? गोटे बाघ छुआ दिया जाए ताको पोसीबा पय घरे ताहले तुमे पोसी पारिबो कि? Yes or no? वीरमित्रपुर हाई स्कूल. क्यों? Why? काहे कि पोसी पारिबो नै बाघ छुआ को? Yes, your answer might be it lives in jungle and the tiger was very dangerous in nature. They are wild animals. They are ferocious in nature. Okay, sit down. Very good. So of course, when it talks about tiger, so tiger is very simple and very trustable to human beings. So as far as pets animal are concerned, tiger is very closer to human beings. So students, in the last class we have already discussed its part 1 and jete bele ame part 1 discussion karithila pele we had three questions that a tiger in the house jete bele ame kahucho ghare gote baghatie. So we had three questions arise in our mind. So first question was that so the tiger, whether the tiger has come from jungle, and the second question whether it is a pet tiger or something else. So after discussion the part 1, then we have reached a conclusion that so grandfather himself found the tiger. Okay, himself find the tiger in the jungle and bring it to the home. This was all about the part 1. So students, now this is only meant for part 2. So let's go to the smart board and we'll start our lesson. So students, so before going to start today's lesson, now we have some question. So I have to check whether you are remember the part 1 of the story or not. So here some question. So first question is, who is the author of the story A Tiger in the House? Who know the answer? Please raise your hand.
Is the
Very good.
author of the story A Tiger in the House?
Very good. Sit down. So Ruskin Bond is the author of the story A Tiger in the House. Okay. So who was Timothy?
A tiger
Yes.
cub.
Timothy
A
was a
tiger
A
tiger.
tiger.
Timothy.
Yes, yes, a tiger cub. Okay, a tiger cub. So Timothy was a tiger cub. Very good. Sit down. So next question is, who did discover Timothy and where was it discovered? Yes.
Under the banyan tree.
Discovered Timothy. Instigate of
Yes.
banyan tree he discovered.
Very good. Grandfather discovered Timothy and he found in the jungle, which is hided himself among the intricate root of a banyan tree. Very good, very good. Sit down. Good. So why did grandfather accompany the hunting party? Why did grandfather
accompany hunting party? Because he knew that the Shivalik is better than most people.
Very good, very good. Sit down. Very good, boss up. So, no doubt, as he was the local people of the hilly area, so he know better than other people who came from Delhi. Okay. So, now where did important person come from?
Delhi.
Very good. The important person came from Delhi. Very good. Sit down. Sit down. So, what was the length of Timothy? What was the length of Timothy?
18 inch.
Very good, very good. Yes, yes, very good. You are reading well. Very good, very good. Sit down. So no doubt the length of the Timothy is about 18 inches long. Okay. So very good. So now we have to recapitulate all the things those we have learnt in previous class or part 1. Okay. So let's recapitulate. Timothy was a tiger cub discovered by grandfather in Terai jungle in Shivalik Hills near Dera. Grandfather accompanied the hunting party who come from Delhi, as he was the local people of the hilly area. So he accompanied the hunting party who came from Delhi. And the person who came from Delhi, they were very expert in hunting. Okay. So there are different tents in the camps, dining tents, servant tents, and 15 elephants took part in the hunting party. They did not find any tiger in the jungle and getting irritated and started to shoot at jackal. Okay. So finally grandfather was the only member of the party who discovered a tiger cub about 18 inches long and brought it into the house. This was all about our part 1 of the story. Okay. So let's go to the part 2 of the story. Okay. So students, this is part 2 of the story, and you can say this is second scene. And before going to start our lesson, first we have to know this part and scene includes 3 things. Okay. One is place, purpose, and characters. So when we talk about place, grandfather, the scenes which happen in grandfather house, and one part of the story is happen in zoo. So a tiger in the house, पिलामने एथारे जो a tiger in the house name रखा जायछि, and this is based on this part of the story. Okay. And what are the purpose of the past of the story? No doubt we know that grandfather found the tiger cub and brought it to home, and now it's the time the grandfather to pet it. So we know that tiger is very ferocious animal. They are very dangerous in nature. So now we have to know from the parts of the story that whether the grandfather spared the tiger or not. Okay, because tiger, we know that tiger is very fierce in nature. Okay, so this is the purpose. And characters. Oh, these are the main characters of the parts of the story. When it talks about human characters, so human character here, writer, grandfather, writer, grandmother, writers in childhood period, जेतेबेले छोट थिले सेतेबेले एठारे एक्सप्लेन हेछि. Mahmud, the cook of grandfather, Timothy, the tiger cub, and there are two animal characters are there. Okay, so 2 other companions are Toto, the monkey, a mongrel puppy, and finally or lastly zoo authority are there. Okay, So let's go to the part 1 of the story. Okay. So we have to know, now we have to know whether the grandfather pets the tiger or not. Okay. So at first, now I am going to read. So you have to conscious about the pronunciation of the story, the words of the story, and so you can look at your TV screen, or you can you may look at your book. Okay. So I am now reading. You have to follow me, and you have to check line by line. Okay. So at first, the tiger cub, who was named Timothy, grandmother, was brought up entirely on milk given to him in a feeding bottle by our cook Mahmoud. But the milk proved too rich for him, and he was put on a diet of raw mutton and cod liver oil, to be followed later by a tempting diet of pigeons and rabbits. So students, to better understand of this paragraph of the part of the story, I have taken some glossary. Now you have to check your knowledge. If whether it is these are unknown words in the glossary, you have to write down on in your copy. Okay. So now understand the paragraph of the story. At first, the tiger cub, who was named Timothy, the grandmother. So no doubt, when grandfather brought the tiger cub from the jungle, so he handed over to the grandmother को देले, and आमे माने पिले जानी चुकी जेते बेला आमे कोनोसी एनिमल को पोछि थाउ, at that time we name such animals, आमे माने किछि नाम देई थाउ. Okay. So why affectionately बहुत स्नेहरे आमे तांको नाम विभिन्न नाम रे नामित करि थाउ. Okay. So like that, grandmother named the tiger cub as Timothy. Grandmother कोना कले से बाघ छुआ को तिमोथी बोली से गोटे नाम देली. Okay. Now was brought up entirely on milk given to him in a feeding bottle by our cook Mahmoud. Okay. Here one question for you. Who was Mahmoud? Mahmoud was the cook of grandfather. Mahmoud बोली जणे cook थिले, रोसिया थिले grandfather. Okay. तांको घरे रोसे cook काम करुथिले, cooking काम करुथिले. Okay. So brought up entirely on milk given to him in a feeding bottle by our cook Mahmoud. से कौन कले जिते बेले आनिले जंगल रु हैंड ओवर कले ग्रांड मदर को आउ जो रसिया थिले से सब लालन पालन तार करथिला. हियर ब्रॉट अप ब्रिंग अप मीन्स लालन पालन करिबा. एंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ही वाज गिवन milk by a feeding bottle. You see in the picture, this is feeding bottle and one nipple is there to feed the tiger cub. Now you see this is Mahmoud, this is grandmother. Okay. Now what happened? Mahmoud was feeding milk to the tiger cub by a feeding bottle. Okay. So but the milk proved too rich for him, and he was put in diet of raw muttons and cod liver oil, to be followed later by a tempting diet of pigeons and rabbit. So what happened? Do we know that tiger is a carnivorous animal? Do you know the carnivorous animal? Carnivorous animals mean the animals who eats flesh of other animals. जहाँ को हमें ओडिया रे मांसासी प्राणी को कुछ पिले. जदि तांको किसी मिल्क दिया जाए ताको भलो लागे बना है. So he could not digest. The tiger cub could not digest, and later अपने कौन करा गला? He was put on a diet of raw mutton. तांको सही बागो चाको raw mutton बा कंचा मटन दिया गला, and cod liver oil. You see, this is cod liver oil, and the cod liver is one type of oil which is extract from cod fish. Cod fish बोले गोटे प्रकार माछ अछि, तारु cod liver oil extract करा जाए. Okay. तो cod liver आउ मटन को मिक्स करिकरी तांको प्रथमे दिया गला, and after that tempting diet of pigeons and rabbit. परे परे कोना करा गला पिले तांको tempting. Here tempting mean highly attractive, लोभनीय. Now the tiger cub was given the diet of pigeons and rabbit. परे परे कोना करा गला ताकू pigeons and rabbit दिया गला. You see, this is rabbit, this is pigeon. Okay. So this is the first paragraph of the story. Okay. Now come to next slide. So now I am reading. You have to conscious about pronunciation and look at book line by line. Timothy was provided with two companions. Timothy was provided with two companions. Toto the monkey, who was bold enough to pull the young tiger by a tail and then climb up the curtain if Timothy lost his temper, and a small mongrel puppy found on the road by grandfather. At first, Timothy appeared to be quite afraid of the puppy and darted back with a spring if it came too near. Finally, he allowed the puppy to crawl on his back and rest there. So, student, like the first paragraph of the story, so I have taken some glossary. Okay. So, Timothy was provided with two companions. Timothy was provided with two companions. So, he got two friends. The first one is Toto. First one is Toto, and this is the name of a monkey was given to tiger cub. Tiger cub को Toto बोली गोटे monkey दिया गला, who was bold enough to pull the young tiger by a tail. Here bold means daring or courageous. जागु साहसी. No doubt पिले tiger cub गोटे fiercest animal. तेणु से बहुत साहसी थिला. Monkey टा बहुत साहसी थिला. ता पाखरे जाई कि joke करुथिला. Okay. So it means, so he was very naughty. Toto was very naughty and pulled the young tiger by tail. Se kona kotula lanja ko tani pokotula, and the tiger getting irritated, he was climbing up to the curtain. Porda ko se chadhi jautala. You see, this is curtain. Curtain मतलब porda. Lanja को टाणी दे जेते बेले बाघ छुआटी रागी जाउथला सेते बेले से कोन करथला porda को चढ़ी जाउथला. Okay. And another friend was mongrel puppy. Okay, found on road by grandfather. A mongrel puppy, one type of puppy or kind of dog that is mixture of different breeds. अलगा प्रजातिर गोटे जाति को कुकुरा जाति को आमे mongrel puppy कहिता. You see, this is mongrel puppy. Okay, so mongrel puppy. So first of all, tiger cub was afraid of mongrel puppy. प्रथमे mongrel puppy को देखी कि से डरी जाउतला tiger cub. And later on, in the meantime, what happened? And darted back with a spring. Darted back means to move backward quickly or suddenly. हठात पछको घुंचीबा. जेते बेले टाइगर कप सेही पपी को देखुतिला सेते बेले ता पछको धीरे धीरे घुंची आसुतिला. Okay. And in meantime, what happened? He allowed the puppy to crawl on his back and rest there. In meantime, after that, what happened? Now you see, they become good friends. They became good friends, and now the tiger cub allowed the puppy to crawl on his back. Now the tiger cub allowed the puppy to sit on his back. Now you see, they become good friends each other. Okay. So next, come to next slide. Come to next slide. So now I am reading. One of Timothy's favorite amusement was to stalk anyone who should play with him. And so when I came to live with grandfather, I became one of the tiger's favorite. With a crafty look in his glittering eyes and his body crouching, he would creep closer and closer to me, suddenly making a dash for my feet, rolling over on his back and kicking with delight and pretending to bite my ankles. So let's understand the paragraph of the story. One of Timothy's favorite amusement. You see, here amusement means a feeling of delight or being entertained. कौतूहल बा मजा जहा को हमें मजा करिबा. तो मजा कथा कोन थिला? To stalk anybody. To stalk anybody. Here stalk means move slowly and quickly. You see, this is called stalk. So तुम पिला माने देखु तो धीरे धीरे बाघ आसिकी अनेबा को चेष्टा करूछि. तो ए परि तार कोन करथला जे पाखकु तार आसे कोन करे से. ओके. सो से कोन स्टॉप करे अने की देखे. ओके. बा डराए. ओके. So when I came to live with grandfather, after some days, what happened? Grandfather author came to stay with grandparents. At that time, what happened? I became one of the tiger's favorite. ସେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ଯେତେବେଳେ ରାଇଟର ରସ୍କିନ୍ ବଣ୍ଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଛୋଟ ଥିଲେ ତାଙ୍କ ଗ୍ରାଣ୍ଡ ପାଖକୁ ଆସିଲେ ଆଉ ସେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ସେ ବାଘ ଛୁଆର ଫେଭରାଇଟ ଫ୍ରେଣ୍ଡସ୍ ବନିଗଲେ. ଓକେ, ସୋ with crafty look, here you see crafty means ଚତୁରତା ବା ପ୍ରତାରକ, clever, very clever. Okay, and glittering eyes, ଚକ୍ ଚକ୍ ଦେଖାଦେବା বা ସାଇନିଂ ବା ଗ୍ଲୋ ଦିଶିବା ଆଖିରେ. ତାର ସବୁବେଳେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା? ଗୋଟେ କ୍ରାଫ୍ଟି ଲୁକ୍, ତାର ଚେହେରା କ୍ରାଫ୍ଟି ଥିଲା. and glittering eyes, ସବୁବେଳେ ତା କ'ଣ ଥିଲା? ତା ଆଖିଟି ଚକ୍ ଚକ୍ କରୁଥିଲା. ଓକେ, so and his body crouching, you see here crouching means or crouch means bend the knee and bring the upper body forward and down. You see this is crouching. ତମେ ପିଲେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ପ୍ରାୟତଃ ଟାଇଗର ମାନେ କ୍ରଚ୍ କରିଥାନ୍ତି, ଏମିତି ଆଣ୍ଠୁକୁ ଆଗ ଆଡ଼କୁ ଆଣିକି ବସିଥାନ୍ତି. ଓକେ, ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ କଲ୍ଡ କ୍ରଚ୍. ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ପ୍ରାୟତଃ ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ? କ୍ରଚିଂ କରେ. ଓକେ, and he would creep closer and closer to me. ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ସେ ଲେଖକଙ୍କ ବା ରାଇଟରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଇକି ଓକେ ଚିପକି ଯାଏ ବା ତାଙ୍କ ଦେହରେ ଥାଏ. ଓକେ, and suddenly making a dash for my feet, rolling over on his back and kicking with delight and pretending to bite my ankle. You see, making a dash for my feet. ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ରାଇଟରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଯାଇକି କ'ଣ କରିବ? ଛଳନାରେ pretend mean ଛଳନା କରେ ଆଉ କ'ଣ କରେ? ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ତା ପାଦକୁ ନେଇକି ଦବାଇବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ. ବେଳେ ବେଳେ କ'ଣ କରେ? କିକ୍ ବି କରେ ରାଇଟରଙ୍କୁ. ଓକେ, ଥଟ୍ଟା ହିସାବରେ, ଛଳନା ହିସାବରେ. so pretending to bite my ankles means ପାଦର ଗଣ୍ଠିକୁ ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଯାଇକି ଥଟ୍ଟାରେ ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ଟିକେ ବାଡ଼େଇବା ପାଇଁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ. ଓକେ, so come to the next slide. Now you see, I am reading now. He was by this time the size of a full-grown retriever, and when I took him out for a walk, people on the roads would give us a wide berth. When he pulled hard on his chain, I had difficulty in keeping up with him. His favorite place in the house was the drawing room, and he would make himself comfortable on the long sofa, reclining there with great dignity and smiling at anybody who tried to get him up. Okay, students, now we have to understand this paragraph of the story. So he was by this time the size of a full-grown retriever. ପିଲାମାନେ ଏଠାରେ retriever ଦେଖ. Retriever means a large dog with a thick black or light brown fur. Like a dog now, tiger cub was no longer a tiger cub. ଏବେ tiger cub ବାଘ ଛୁଆ ହିସାବରେ ନାହିଁ, ସେ already ତା ଶରୀର ବା ବଡିଟା ଗ୍ରୋ ହେଇଯାଇଛି. Okay, like a dog. Here retrievers means you read in science, retrievers means the animals who able to reproduce. ଯେ ଜନ୍ମ କରିବାର କ୍ଷମତା ପାଇଥାଏ ତାହାକୁ in science ବା ସାଇନ୍ସରେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ retriever ବୋଲି କହିଥାଉ. Okay, so when I took him out for a walk, people on the road would give us a wide berth. When author took the tiger cub out for a walk, at that time to see the big grown tiger, what happened? The people, they gave a wide berth. You see, berth means space. ଯେହେତୁ ଗୋଟେ ବାଘକୁ ଦେଖିଲେ obviously ଆମେ ମାନେ ବି ଡରି ଯିବା. Like that, ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ରାସ୍ତାରେ ନିଆଯାଉଥିଲା, ପଥ ନେଇକି ଯାଉଥିଲେ, ଓକେ, ଚେନ୍ ବାନ୍ଧିକି ସେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହଉଥିଲା? ସେତେବେଳେ ରାସ୍ତାରେ ଲୋକମାନେ କ'ଣ କରୁଥିଲେ? ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ଜାଗା ଛାଡ଼ି ଦଉଥିଲେ ଡରିକି. ଓକେ, and what happened? His favorite place in the house was drawing room. So his favorite place in the house was drawing room. Drawing room ରେ ସେ ପ୍ରାୟତଃ ରହେ, and he would make himself comfortable on the long sofa. You see, this is long sofa. You can find long sofa in drawing room. Okay, drawing room ରେ he was comfortable on long sofa. Long sofa ରେ ସେ ଶୋଇବାକୁ ପସନ୍ଦ କରେ ପିଲେ. Reclining there is great dignity. You see, reclining move the upper body backwards and down, ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ଢଳିବା. ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କ'ଣ କରେ? ସେ ଲଙ୍ଗ ସୋଫାରେ ନିଜର ବଡିକୁ ଢଳାଇ ଦେଇଥାଏ. You see, here the tiger is sleeping here. Okay, this is long sofa. With great dignity, You see, dignity means सम्मान सहित like a king. तो निजे निजे भाई के मोटे king आउ मो सोफारे बसी के king रो अभिनय करूची. Okay. So and smiling at anybody who try to get him. You see, here tiger is smiling. Smile means भाव भाव हेबा. Okay. भाव भाव करिबा. रागी जाई कि पिला माने दिन देखि थिबो तमे टाइगर कोन करे रागी गले भाव भाव हे थाए like a dog. भाव भाव करि थाए. Like that if anyone try to get him up, इस लॉन्ग सफर जदि चेष्टा करते उठवा पई जणे तो ताहाकु से कोन करते स्माइल करते. स्माइल माने रागी जाय कि भो भो करिबा. ओके. Timothy had clean habits and would scrub his face with his paws exactly like a cat. He slept at night in the cook's quarter and he was always delighted at being let out by him in the morning. One of these days, declared grandfather in her prophetic manner, we are going to find Timothy sitting on Mahmud's bed and no sign of the cook except his clothes and shoes. Now understand this paragraph of the story. Timothy had clean habits. He was a clean habits. Timothy has a clean habit. The habit is he always scrubbing his face with his watch. You see here, scrub means clean something by rubbing it. घसी के सफा करिबा को हमें स्क्रब बोली के कहिता. ओके. बा घसी माजी सफा करिबा. तो पॉच मीन्स यू सी पॉच दिस इज पॉच. तो बागर पंजा थाए से पंजा साहाଯ୍य रे कोन ता गोटे क्लीन हैबिट थाए से पंजा साहाଯ୍य रे कोन करिवो से ता फेस को पोछिबो. ओके. रब करिवो. So what happened and he was always delighted at being let out by him in the morning. He slept at night in the cook's quarter, Mahmud, and was always delighted at being let out by him in the morning. So what happened? से कौन करे? He slept in Mahmud's quarter. से कौन करिबो जो रोसिया महमूद थिला ता क्वार्टर रे सोइबाकू से राति रे सोइबाकू से पसंद करे. एंड सकालू उठिबाकू से बहुत आनंद सहित उठिताय. डिलाइट खुशी हे कि उठिताय. ओके. सो what happened one of these days declared grandfather in her prophetic manner. You see, prophetic means predict something or भविष्य सूचक. भविष्यत करिबा, भविष्यत कथा कहिबा, predict करिबा. Okay. So what happened? One day grandfather predicted that or informed that a time will come for Mahmud that the tiger kill Mahmud and there left a sign. Okay. Except his cloth and shoes. You see, यार अर्थ पिले एमिति गोटे दिन आसीबो. ग्रांडफादर कहउछंती एमिति ए टाइम विल कम. गोटे टाइम आसीबो जे टाइम रे बाघटी कोन करिवो महमूद को खाई जीवो आउ ता बेड रे ओनली शूज आ क्लॉथेस रहिबो. इट मींस तार जो वाइल्ड नेचर ए धीरे धीरे रिवील हेबा को आसुची पिले. ओके. Now come to the next slide. Of course, it never came to that, but when Timothy was about 6 months old, a change came over him. He grew steadily less friendly when out for a walk with me. He would try to steal away to stalk a cat or someone's pet picnic. Sometimes at night, we would hear frenzied crackling from the poultry house, and in the morning, there would be feathers lining all over the veranda. Timothy had to be changed more often. And finally, when he began to talk Mahmud about the house with what looked like villainous intent, grandfather decided it was time to transfer him to a Jew. So what happened, student? Of course, it never came to that. What did grandfather predict? It never came to that. जहाँ predict करी थिले पिले कि रोसिया को खाई जीवो एमिति हेई नथिला. And Timothy was about 6 months old. जेते बेले Timothy 6 मासर हैला वाइल्ड नेचर रिवील. तार जो वाइल्ड नेचर थिला रिवील हेबा को आसुची. नाउ ही ग्रू स्टिलली लेस फ्रेंडली. नाउ देयर जेंटल बिहेवियर इज डिसअपियर एंड नाउ वाइल्ड बिहेवियर देयर नेचुरल इंस्टिंक्ट्स दैट गिवन बाय गॉड. जो गॉड देथिबा जो नेचुरल इंस्टिंक्ट्स जो वाइल्ड बिहेवियर फेरियस नेचर एबे धीरे धीरे की आसीबा को होची. बिकॉज़ द टाइगर कप वाज नाउ नो लॉन्गर ए टाइगर कप. Now he was a big grown tiger. Okay. So he grew still less friendly when out for a walk with me. जेतेबेले राइटर तांको walk नेकी जाई थांती, he would try to steal away to stalk a cat. कौन करिबो से चेज करे जो pets जो पोसी थांती पेकनिस या पेकनिस मीन्स गोटे प्रकार कुकुर को आमे और डॉग को आमे पेकनिस कहता हूं. एंड यू सी दिस इज पेकनिस. कैट और पेकनिस मान को कौन करिबो से चेज करिबा लागेला. ओके. एंड सम टाइम एट नाइट वी वुड हियर फ्रेंजिड कैकलिंग फ्रॉम द पोल्ट्री हाउस. सो हियर फ्रेंजिड मीन उत्तेजित, हॉरिबल, एंड कैकलिंग मीन्स हॉट साउंड्स और नॉइज. किछि आमे किछि साउंड को आमे क्रैकलिंग बोली कहिबा. ओके. And frenzied cackling from the poultry house, and in the morning there will be feathers flying over the veranda. So what happened? One day a crackling sound or horrible sound was heard from the poultry farms, and in the morning there were lining feathers of chickens in the veranda, on the veranda. Veranda रे कौन हला दिने कौन हला गोटे poultry farm रू खरा माने बहुत horrible sound आसिला पिले that the tiger kill all the chickens, and morning रे कौन हला सबु तार जो पर थाए, ओके, feather थाए सबु बरंडा रे पड़ीबा को लागिला. ओके. नाउ Timothy had to be changed more often. तांको जो चेन जो बंधा हेतला चेन रे बंधा हेतला आउ बड़ बड़ चेन लगे की बंधा हैला Timothy को. ओके. And when he began to talk Mehboob about the house with what looked like villainous intent, grandfather decided it was time to transfer him to zoo. So what happened in meantime? Tiger was attracted to kill Mehmood. Mehmood को स्टॉक करिबा को लागिला. It means indirectly हमें कहिबा पिले कि Mehmood को कोन कर माकू किल करिबा को चेष्टा करिला Tiger. So that seeing this in villainous intent, okay, grandfather, what happened? Grandfather decided to, okay, transfer to a zoo. Okay.
So the nearest zoo was at Lucknow, 200 miles away, reserving a first-class compartment for himself and Timothy. No one would share a compartment with them. Grandfather took him to Lucknow, where the zoo authority were only too glad to receive as a gift a well-fed and fairly civilized tiger. So what happened? To see this intense behavior of tiger, grandfather decided to transfer Timothy to the nearest zoo, and the nearest zoo was Lucknow. Okay, you see
in the picture in our Indian map. So this is the
place where grandfather stayed. Okay, and you see this is Lucknow, where
the tiger park is there, tiger zoo is there. Okay, what happens? The distance from the tiger writer house or grandfather house to Lucknow, this is 200 miles. Okay, you know Lucknow is the capital of Uttarakhand. Sorry, Lucknow is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so now reserving a first class compartment for himself and Timothy, no one would share a compartment with them. What happened? So here grandfather booked a special compartment. You compartment में गोटे coach से book कले. Why did he book a special coach or compartment? Because no one can share the compartment. जदि पिला माने पैसेंजर मान को से खाई जीवो तेणु कौन कले गोटे बा डरई देव से कौन कले गोटे कंपार्टमेंट से बुक कले आउ टाइगर को नेले बाय ट्रेन. ओके, एंड व्हाट हैपेंड? ग्रैंडफादर टूक हिम टू लखनऊ वेयर द जू अथॉरिटी वर ओनली टू ग्लैड टू रिसीव एट ए गिफ्ट ए वेल फेड एंड सिविलाइज्ड टाइगर. सो when they reached to zoo, so zoo authority, you see this is zoo authority. Okay, to see the well and civilized tiger, he become very happy. Okay, so this is all about our today's class. I hope you will understand better. We have question we have to discuss before going to question. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. So now we have some question. Now we have to discuss one by one. So who knows the answer, please raise your hand. Okay, so first question is, who named the tiger cub as Timothy? Who named the tiger cub as Timothy? Who know the answer? Raise your hand. So option are grandfather, grandmother, writer and cook. Yes, tell me. Who named the tiger cub as Timothy? Yes. Very good. Grandmother named the tiger cub as Timothy. Very good. Sit down. Next question is, who was Mahmud? Who was Mahmud? Raise your hand. Very good, cook. Sit down. Very good. So Timothy had two companions. One was a monkey and other was a dash. Option are cat, mongrel puppy, peacock and rabbit. So one was very good, mongrel puppy. Very good. Sit down. So at first Timothy, very good, very good. Sit down. Yes. At first Timothy appeared to be quite afraid of dash. Who knows the answer? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
At first Timothy.
Yes. At first Timothy appeared to be quite afraid of. कहाँ कुछ डरी जाऊँ पीले से?
Puppy.
Very good. Mongrel puppy को से डरी जाऊँ Very good. Sit down. So what was Timothy's favorite place? Option are kitchen, bedroom, drawing room and garden. Very good. Drawing room was the favorite place of Timothy. Very good. Sit down. Timothy scoffed his face with paws like a dash. So dog, cat, monkey and cow.
Cat.
Very good. Cat. Very good. Sit down. Sit down. Very good. Where did Timothy sleep at in the night? रात्रि क्यों उठा सोते पीले से? In cook's quarter or Mahmud's quarter. Ah, very good. Yes. What would be found across the veranda in the next morning? कौन लाइनिंग है कि पड़ी चला पीले? So feather of chicken.
Feathers of chicken.
Very good. Feathers of chicken. Very good. Very good. Sit down. So the nearest zoo was about 200 miles from grandfather house. Was situated in Dash, Kolkata, Chennai, Delhi and Lucknow. Very good. Lucknow. Okay. Yes. Yes. Very good. Sit down. Sit down. Now comprehension check question. Now who are there in the parts of the story? Who are characters in the parts of the story? Who can say?
There are part in the story. Mahmud, grandfather,
Very good.
grandmother, Timothy and the writer.
Very good. Sit down. Very good. So there are the writer, his grandfather, grandmother, Mahmud, the cook, Toto the monkey, a small mongrel puppy, the tiger cub Timothy and the zoo authority are in the parts of the story. Very good. Who named the tiger cub and who brought him up? There is two questions. Okay. Who named the tiger cub and who brought him up? Okay.
Grandmother
And who brought?
tiger cub and grandfather brought him up. Mahmud.
No students, Mahmud brought it up. Okay, by a feeding bottle. First कौन गला? Mahmud तांको लालन पालन करथिला. Okay, sit down. Good, good. So the grandmother named the tiger cub and Mahmud brought him up. What was the diet of tiger cub? What was the diet of tiger cub? और diet कौन थिला? खाद्य कौन थिला पिले?
Raw mutton.
Very good. Yes. The diet of the tiger cub was raw mutton, cod liver well, pigeons and rabbit. Very good. Sit down. Who were Timothy's companion at home?
Toto and mongrel.
Yes, Toto the monkey and the mongrel puppy were companions at home. Who was bold enough to pull the young tiger by a tail? Yes.
Toto the monkey was bold enough to pull the young tiger by the
Yes, yes. Very good, very good. Sit down. So, Toto the monkey was bold enough to pull the young tiger by a tail. So, who did Timothy appear to be quite afraid of? Who did Timothy appear to be quite afraid of? कागुट से डरी जाता you have already discussed in MCQ type question. Timothy appeared to be quite afraid of the puppy. से puppy को Timothy puppy को डरी थिला. Okay. He would creep closer and closer to me. Who is the speaker here? He means he refers to here. Yes. Tell the answer. Yes, writer. The writer is the speaker here. Which was Timothy's favorite place in the house? You have already answered him.
Drawing room. Drawing room.
Students, dear students, you have to tell in full sentence. Okay. So you have to say
Drawing room.
Timothy's favorite place in the house was drawing room. Okay. Why did grandfather decided to transfer Timothy to a zoo? So answer is, when Timothy began to stalk Mahmoud about the house with a villainous intent, grandfather decided to transfer him to zoo. Okay. So students, here some homework for you. So you have to collect the name of 10 tiger reserve park in India. Like Lucknow re jemiti tiger reserve by zoo achi. Like that you have to collect some name of tiger 10 reserve park in India. भारत रे देखा होइतबा 10 reserve park तुमे collect करिबो. This is your homework. So this is all about today's class. I hope you will understand well. So in the next class we have to discuss part 3 of the story. Okay. Now you see the tiger cup is in zoo. Okay. Now in the next class we have to read its part 3. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Thank you.